Alright everybody, this here is my Moebius Models 1/32 scale Cylon Raider, and it's been modified from a Season 4 Raider to Season 2, specifically Scar. Most of the work involved in backdating this was the head, although you'll notice some other things too, like the guns and the engine blisters. The panel line is all Season 4. I decided to keep the panel lines because most of them are in the right place. And later on in the series, around Season 4, when they do flashbacks or when they did the mini-movie Scar, The Plan, they retcon the Raiders. So even though the beginning of the plan takes place at the beginning of Season 1, they were showing Season 4 Raiders. So my mentality is, well, who's to say those panel lines weren't there already? One thing I did change, which was because it was an obvious thing, is the rib detail here on the Season 4 model. That detail wraps around the front, and you can see that it's not like that on the Season 1 to 3. So I backdated that. Another spot where you can tell really where I changed it was on the engine blisters. On the Season 4, there's a scallop detail here, and you don't see that on the Season 1 to 3, so I took that off. Well, took it off, filled it in. And since I'm staring right at this part here, you notice that in the bullet holes. Now, as we discovered fairly early in the series, the Raiders are actually cyborgs, so crunchy metal outside, warm, gooey, fleshy inside. So I'm showing, like, where you see big time damage like bullet holes or severe impacts, you'll actually see blood trickling. And I also tried to do it where the blood would trickle, hit a panel line, it'd kind of follow the panel line, and then it'd find its way out. I'll swing this one around. You can kind of see it on this one. But that's just one little piece of detail. One spot there where there's another good spot where there's some major damage is the end of the prong here. Can't really see it in this light, but there's a fair bit of red in there. I just want to be able the viewer, I guess you'd say, to be able to see the meat. And just coming along here, you can see one of the guns. The backdated the gun and the probe there. Made it look more like just a regular high-powered rifle barrel. The reworked version, the retcon version there, Season 4, looks more like a laser rifle. And going along the head, now the scarring on the head, I based that off of Doug Drexler, the Drex Files, off his website, because he's the one who did the design for the scar damage. So I wanted to, I tried to copy as close as possible what he had done. Now you look at the scanner here, it's just a simple 8 LED sequencer I bought from online auctions, and it's like maybe a 3/4 of an inch square circuit card. It's tiny. It's nice because not a lot of room in this model. And for the scanner itself, there's actually 3 of them running at one time. It's kind of hard to tell in this light, but there's 3 of them running at one time, and I used 0805 surface mount LEDs for that. I'm getting pretty good at soldering them, and I find anything smaller, you're just asking for headaches trying to solder them. But anyways, carrying on. Going back to panel lines, one spot where I did change the panel lines was on the head. So you see here, kind of like an hourglass shape. There's a whole different set of panel lines there. And these 2 panels here, I'll point out, are actually raised detail. And we're going to go along to the back here, and you see my exhausts. Now there's 3 nozzles, but only 2 of them are lit up. You never actually see all 3 engines running, which is kind of odd, but there's a deleted scene in, I think it's the 1st, 2nd season, where they're examining the Raider that Kara brings back, and you're kind of left with the impression that middle nozzle's where it poops from. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm just going to pop this thing off the stand and try not to drop it like that. Okay, well, since it's just sitting on the table and didn't like go for a major dump, I'll talk a bit about the base. Now you see the power jack here. It's just a standard audio jack, and the way I've done it, I've actually soldered the jack to the brass tube, and as a result, the brass tube is actually a negative of my circuit, and the positive is the prong on the inside. All it means is there's just one less wire dangling inside the tube. The base itself is an IKEA picture frame. This particular model is called Ribba. I skinned it in 020 styrene, and the paints I used is German gray for the actual base, and then some flat red, some flat black, just to give it a little bit of visual interest along the edge there. The Cylon symbol itself, it's just styrene. I had an earlier model of a Raider that it didn't work out for me. So what I did do though, I used the base I cut for that one. I used as a template for this one, and I want the base to kind of reflect the Raider itself, Scar, because he's pretty beat up. They imply that he's actually kind of gone mad. So I decided to do the shattered look here to kind of reflect the mentality of the Raider itself. I'll flip this up, show you the gruesome underside. So you can see the Ribba picture frame underneath, and I just added a little bit of a bulkhead just as support for the base. Base comes out through here, it's all filled with AVES. And for the power, because it's just a little sequencer, I decided to just go with a 9-volt battery. My Serenity model, I actually have a block of AA's, 6 batteries in series there to give me the 9 volts. So that's all that is. Now, I'm going to quickly go back to the bottom of the Raider. See a little bit more damage, a little bit more work I did. Not too much here. Most of the work actually was this piece here. This is all one piece, this bottom piece here. The center piece is a lot narrower, kind of swoopy compared to the Season 1. So this is just built up AVES, and you see the scalping here. I wanted to try and do is give it a look of a lean and hungry wild animal, because that's kind of what Scar has been reduced to. You can't regenerate, you can't be reborn, so it's kind of ruthless, kind of vicious at this point. So that's where I was trying to go with that, like see the ribs, the rib cage. The gun ports again, squared off, just made a little backdated again. Other than that, big thing is the missile bays. Missile bays are a pretty radical departure from the original kit part. And right around here, there's a reaction control thruster. Those are gone. The missile bays are rounded off, made a bit more rectangular to more triangular before. I come over to this side. You can see he caught something nasty here because it's all bashed in. You can see like some pretty deep gouging there, and a lot of the panel line is kind of gone. And along the rest, you can see like dents and burnout marks, a little bit of blood spatter trickling here and there. And over here, you can see the bent probe again. So my hope is I turned it off too, is when this thing gets displayed alongside a Season 4 Raider, people look at it and it's like, holy cow, there's a lot of difference between these two. And my ultimate would be that if someone would actually think it was a completely different model.